let's lay the Smackdown on Smackdown. So, Brock Lesnar opened the show, and I think that this segment probably had the biggest margin for tweaking. And I say that because, for one, as you insinuated earlier in our recording, that Brock Lesnar was never going to deliver any kind of promo, or he was never going to have any prolonged dialogue in the ring. And I would have cut the R-Truth crap short. I would have had R-Truth come there and maybe have a brief exchange, and then Brock just absolutely tear into him. Not just an F5, but tear into him. Hit the horns. John Cena's there. He wasn't advertised, but he's there in Norfolk, Virginia, hence my background. So, John Cena comes up there, and they absolutely get into that brawl that I was talking about that should have happened last week. You have Brock Lesnar and John Cena beating the hell out of each other, and this is the way to give John Cena some fire back to him, because he needs it. He hasn't been able to manage to have any kind of credibility against Brock. He's just pretty much being on the receiving end of F5s. For the, I guess, since Brock returned, and then he hit him with it last week, and it's not looking good for Cena at all. I think that they really need to light the fire under their asses and make this look like a match worth seeing, and not a one-sided massacre.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have changed there. Let's see what happened. Then you had Sami Zayn versus Rey Fenix. This is a perfectly fine match. I would have kept it exactly the way that it was, and maybe had that's perfectly fine. And then you said the next challenge is going to be Carmelo Hayes. I think that that's fine. Maybe I would have put Carmelo Hayes later down the line and make it more believable that he might actually be the one to win. I think that he possibly should be the one to take the title, but with him being the third defense that he's had after a no contest, after a clean win, Sami's not losing the belt in his third title defense. So this is pretty much a foregone conclusion. So I would hold off there. And what else next? B-Fab and Julia. This is the one that I'm struggling with the most, man, because the women's mid-card division on Smackdown is absolutely abysmal, and it's not any. I'm not gonna rag on the actual women there. I think that it's just stale, and they haven't been allowed to develop character-wise, like you said, Kiana James and Julia. We still don't know what their whole thing is. Julia's probably she has the most raw talent out of the group. I'd say B-Fab is coming into her own. She's getting more comfortable still. You have Michin, who is kendo stick swinging, U.S. title chasing, pinfall eating, no ass shaking. That's her thing, and it's just like, what? We just need to go back to the drawing board here. So this is, Josh, I would like to do a trade in this picture. So you had what happened, but at some point you and I need to talk about a trade for the women's mid-card, or I'm going to bring a legend out of retirement. I'm going to bring a legend out of retirement, or bring someone from NXT.
I mean, WWE's good for it, so hey.
I'm tired of this shit.
Do what they did with Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So let's put a pin in this. I'm going to actually take a note, and we need to call in reinforcements. So
Trish Stratus, United States.
Yeah. Then you had. It seems that we're still picking up with the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits. The Street Profits did a video this week. I think that we're doing them a disservice by not picking up on what happened with, or giving them adequate screen time as in ring or in person, with them picking up on where that dissension was. I think that I would have had them have a backstage segment and had maybe Montez Ford do a solo match, a singles match against Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, one of the two, and before the match, them have a conversation. It's like, it got the better of him. He was not in the right mind space. He wanted to prove himself. So pretty much saying that I don't want to have help today. I wanted to go out there by myself and have him lose the match. Then afterwards, that could kind of put a chink in his confidence, but then I would use that as the foundation for them working back together as a stronger unit and realizing that they're better as a pair than apart, because the damages are, they already shit the bed when they started doing the stuff to tease the fact that there was friction. So now we need to take the sheets off the bed, throw them away, and start from scratch. Okay, so I am trying to suture the wound that they broke open the other day. So that's ultimately what I would work towards. But to get there, I think we need to have some more investment inside the individual characters between Angelo Ford and Montez. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford as separate entities to make you care about them as more invested. And even if they do, even if I do choose to let them have solo ventures, that they still support each other. I say that to say that's the only kind of scenario in which I would want to see Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford fight each other. Is if there was like an extra outer continuity type of tournament, maybe like for the speed title or something like that. Or just something that did not reflect on them and their main roster tag team. Just some like additional entertainment to get them some reps and get some usage or do something fun on the side. That's the only way that I want to see them fight. Because afterwards, what happens? We know what happens.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's what I was saying.
All right. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. I would keep it the way it was just for the sake of... I mean, I'm not booking individual spots or anything here, but I would say that keep the end result if you want to do the double count out. Nia Jax comes out like she did and absolutely demolishes both of them. That's fine. But I think I really want to put a pin in this. This is one of the ones that I'm most excited about rebooking, and I don't know when they're going to get to that triple threat, but we need to get to that triple threat because that's what I have. That's where we're pulling the trigger on this because it only makes sense. It doesn't make sense to do it this week. It makes sense to do it when they have that type of thing and can have the ultimate fallout, and then you're going to see what I'm talking about. Yeah, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. This I think that we've seen some form of this match. So Drew got his win back on a smaller scale.
Right.
In anticipation for him challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. Now, I think that just for stirring things up, Josh, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. This is going to be the biggest change that I make for the card. Well, the Cena one was pretty big too. But what I would have done, I would have Randy and Drew have this match exactly the way they did. And then at the end, where Randy was alluding that he was going to hit the punt and the referee got in his way, Randy just absolutely goes off the wall. But I would have had them have the match exactly as they did, and Cody Rhodes comes out to make the save. And after Drew McIntyre capitalizes against the Claymore, and he's lining him up for the Claymore against the desk like he did before. And as he does that, Cody Rhodes makes the save. They're brawling in the ring. Cody fights off Drew, and he helps. Well, him and Randy are in the ring. Randy hits Cody with an RKO, and the show goes off air.
Interesting, like a cliffhanger.
Correct.
I remember when they had that.
Dude, TNA was the master of cliffhangers. I remember watching TNA when I was a teenager, and they always would have their shows. They would make you invested because they would have somebody in a mask, or they would have somebody do something outrageous, or they would just outright tell you that that I know something, but I'll tell you next week. They always give you an incentive to tune in for the next show.
Yeah.
And it made you curious. Like when the screen went blank, or when you cut the TV off when the program went off air, you always were curious about what was going to happen next. I can't say I've been curious for quite some time about what's going to happen next because you can telegraph it, and that's not always the. I'm not saying to shake things up just for the sake of doing so, but I do think that there is it's a lost art. And I would have them hit the RKO, and you'll see where I go with that. You probably could tell, but we're freshening things up, right? I'm the new Nick Aldis.
Yeah.